Hi, I'm Crystal Miller, and I'm the president here at Frontida Assisted Living. So here at Frontida, we really want to be a resource for families. And really, we want to be a resource way before you need to think about long-term care. This is the time to be thinking about it and planning for it, maybe for yourself, maybe for a loved one. And so one of the things that we have recently spent quite a bit of time hashing out internally and counseling people who are calling us is when to consider how you're going to pay for long-term care. Now in Wisconsin, we are very blessed to have an opportunity that our government has set up called Family Care. And that is for people whose financial situation has changed, or perhaps they didn't ever have resources to pay for long-term care. Many assisted living homes have a contract with Family Care. And the way this works is that the facility directly bills the county for the care that the loved one or the person is receiving. So the person is responsible for the room and board, but not the care and supervision. And it's a pretty significant amount of money that passes hands through this transaction. That's one thing that we have as a benefit here in Wisconsin. Secondly, many people prepare for their long-term care needs by either having long-term care insurance or saving the money that they need so they'll have options. Now the options is what I want to spend just a couple minutes talking about. What we've been experiencing recently is many facilities will ask people to leave if they run out of money. Now at Frontida, we've had a long-standing philosophy that we have not wanted to do that. We think it's unfair, but I'll tell you quite honestly, the economics of this is very difficult. Now you might wonder, how come some homes can keep people on family care and some homes ask them to leave? Otherwise known as kick them out. And I hate to say it that way, but those are the calls that we're getting. I'm getting kicked out. I ran out of money. And so as we've really thought about this, it's very simple. It's simply, and the answer is that it goes back to economics. Now there's some large companies that desire a different margin, and therefore they want to fill their homes with private pay residents. The gap between the private pay fees and the county funded fees is pretty significant. And it makes a big difference in how you're able to take care of the caregivers. Caregivers are the main beneficiaries of higher rates because we can pay them a higher rate of pay. And quite honestly, the economics of our state and the very low unemployment requires that. So why am I sharing this? Well, I believe that educated people, educated consumers, have more options. And the bottom line is, if you plan ahead and move into a long-term care setting before it's emergency and before your financial situation changes and you don't have any money left, you'll have a significantly higher number of options. So if there's 10 homes in your community and 2 are the ones that everybody loves to live in, it's very likely that if you call them, they won't take family care. There might be a couple that do take family care. There might be a couple that commit to not ask you to leave if you run out of money, but there may only be a few beds in that home that are allocated to family care. And simply it's so that providers can stay in business. If a home is full of only family care residents, the care will likely be different because it's very hard to retain caregivers on that amount of funding. Many people have seen me and the legislative advocacy work that I've done. We've worked really hard in Wisconsin to get funding from the taxpayer base to compensate caregivers in a more fair way so that we can close this gap. But it is still going to continue to be difficult. So bottom line, at the end of the day, plan for long-term care before you run out of money. If at all possible, you will have more options. Too many times I hear about families who do a spend down so they can qualify for family care before they go into long-term care. Then when they start calling, they realize they're in trouble and they should have done it a bit differently. So don't let yourself get stuck in this spot, because truly it can be heartbreaking to see families who had finances, but because they're all gone, now not have options. In most cases, if you have at least 2 years of private pay funding, you will likely be accepted with commitment that you won't have to leave. But check on those things when you tour long-term care and plan ahead. We want to be a resource for you here at Frontida Assisted Living, so please continue to follow our blogs and these videos. We have answers for you. Please call us if you would like more information.